So I did not actually think I was going to record this in time, but I guess we are. It's the October 2022 Power Rankings. And what do we got this month? We're going to go through this pretty fast. We had the weekly open. There was I think just the one GB, the usual stuff. One weekly open, not finished. The GB technically is a few people still going, but I think we have the final top four. Bot speed runs. I would like to give credit to people who did well on bot speed runs. Specifically, one person did very well. The Fun World Cup, the Vileplume Cup, Clan League Finals. After I posted this, it did have games played, but the winner of said games is not making my top 10 either way because they didn't play anything else at all. Maybe they should have, but oh well. Didn't think this month through that well. Didn't have much time here. And lastly, TTAC crowned the site's 14th champion. So unsurprisingly, that player will do quite well. I was sort of torn between semi-finalists in various events. Doomtrade made the Vileplume Cup semis. Vialva made the World Cup semis. Zelda and Crescent also made the World Cup semis. Zelda and Crescent are currently playing them, while Vialva lost to Chickney in the semifinals. And I think I'm going to give it to Zelda and Crescent just because they're still in. You could argue Vialva should be there. But I think if you look at the overall body of work throughout, just that they haven't lost yet, I think it makes sense to put them 9th and 10th. I'm going to put Crescent 9th and Zelda 10th, as Crescent scored higher in the group stages than either of the others, and also had a slightly harder path in the knockout. So I think pretty clearly Crescent 9th, Zelda 10th. Will we go to the next slide? There we go. 8th, Nemesis Divina, runner-up in the month's GB. Sometimes that could get a higher score, but 106-ish is not, a mind-blowing GB score or anything. So I think, second place in an event with a bunch of competitors was enough for me to go above the semifinals runs, but maybe shouldn't have been. Maybe that was wrong. Yeah, for the actual list, I think I'm going to... But then do I want Vialva ahead of Nemesis? I'll just leave it and people can yell at me. In 7th, we have Sir Smokes, semi-finalist in TTAC. Now, you might argue that means this month all he did was lose his TTAC semi-finals, and sure, that's a case, but if that's the case, then you're really only giving semi-finalists a lot of credit in 1 month. I'd like to give them heavy credit in 2 different months. I think, majors are the thing that counts most in general, because we are doing this month-by-month system. Obviously, in my opinion, majors are worth a lot more than, basically just everything else combined. And so these power rankings, I try not to have their value just outweigh everything. But also, I still want them to count for a whole bunch. And so Smokes, I think, earns 7th this month. In 6th, we have Delial, who's in the semi-finals of Vileplume. If it says not complete yet, that means he's still in it, right? It's not that he's a losing semifinalist. He may go further. He may go out in the semis. He's at least making the semifinals. And he came 4th in this month's GB, just a couple points off winning it. Pretty close pack for the top 4. Slightly better, we have Turds, who is a finalist in Vileplume. May end up facing Delial in the finals. May end up facing someone we're going to see shortly. And he came 3rd in this month's GB. And with the best resume of a pretty similar trio, we have Akiyama, who's the other Vileplume semi-finalist. One of here, Delial, will face Turds in the finals. He also is the winner of this month's GB. Turds and Delial came 3rd and 4th. And he did he completed the bot speed run, and he did it in 17 games, which was just really remarkably impressive. And yeah, I think 3 really impressive feats gets him a pretty comfortable 4th place here. And you could probably argue him a little higher, too. But I think 3rd place, Chickney, he has the TTAC semifinals, and he has the Fun World Cup finals. And the Fun World Cup is going to have an icon attached. I'm not putting it in, my tournament stats, but I think it's on that kind of next tier. Maybe there's kind of majors. And for some people, clan stuff will be ahead of majors. But majors is kind of tier 1. Clan stuff is tier 2. And then I think Fun World Cup is really the top end of Tier 3. So really a important final run as well as his semi-final run. That should say not yet next to Fun World Cup finalist. It's not yet determined who will play for the finals. He is still in and could go on to win it. In second place, we have Piggyman, the TTAC runner-up, beat an incredible bracket to get there. And in first place, we have Tezuka, who is also in the semifinals of the weekly, which is not yet finished, but is here entirely on winning TTAC. Not only did he win TTAC, he did it without losing a single game on the way, which, we don't know how long, TTAC is going to manage to continue, how long TTA will continue, how many TTACs we're going to get. But this is pretty remarkable, and I wonder historically if it was ever done before. Easier to do in shorter formats, of course, but I suspect this is unprecedented and a really remarkable victory for Tezuka. So he gets first, and that is this month's power rankings. I think that's the quickest one of these I've made. Not to give short shrift to any of these players. They are all, of course, deserving, but I got to this late and tired, so we will call it a video.